everyone. Devo CISO Kayla Williams here. To celebrate Women's History Month, I'm meeting and chatting with outstanding women leaders in cyber so they can share their nuggets of wisdom with us all. Today, I'm chatting with Jenn Zacharias, SVP Director of the Cyber Defense Center at KeyBank. So let's dive into it. So Jenn, tell me, how did you break into cyber?
Thank you very much, Kayla. I have an interesting story. I have a degree in fashion merchandising, so it has nothing to do with cybersecurity. Matter of fact, my very first job was working in Hollywood, dressing movie stars. So totally took a different route to get to cyber. But the one thing I always tell people is, when life changes, embrace it and go forward. I ended up working for KeyBank about 25 years ago, and someone that I knew brought me into the organization, mostly just in a non-technical role, but I was in the technical group. So I kept asking for more things to do and kept asking and asking until I got to a wonderful position. I had a lady who I would consider my very first sponsor, who was Colleen Byrne, and I'm going to call her out because she's an amazing woman. She took a chance on me on being part of a Windows Server team. I had some technical background throughout my little trickling of time, but within the Windows Server team, that was really my first attempt to really embrace technology. And the team embraced me. They showed me everything. I tend to ask 5,000 questions and drive everyone crazy. But because of that helped me build my technical skills and then helped me build my self-awareness of what I really wanted to do. And then really throughout the time at Key, I was lucky enough to really transition over to the Security Operations Center. I started as a team lead in their world, and then moved my way up into this organization today.
That's amazing. I love to hear about the intellectual curiosity and the different paths that people take, because I don't have a traditional path either. So I think that's excellent. I went to accounting. I was an accountant, so I went to school for that. So I love that we both have made our ways into this field. I think that's a great example of how there's many different paths into cyber. With that said, is there one piece of advice that you'd like to give to your younger self?
I think the thing is, don't put pressure on yourself to find the perfect job right away. I believe that careers are not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I think, my younger self should have known that you don't have to find that one perfect job, right? That one perfect place. It's just building your building blocks to figure out your journey. And at the end of the day, you really have to find what makes you passionate.
I think that's great advice. It applies to all aspects of life. I don't think just to careers as well. Like there's so many different things. As you change yourself, what makes you happy and content will change as well. So I think that's
okay, right? It's okay to flip it, right? If I'm going one direction, I'm a Pisces, right? So you kind of go one way and you go another way. But if you do that, that's fine, right? It's okay. It's all, as long as you're fun and having fun. That's my most important thing.
I couldn't agree more. Girls just want to have fun, right?
That's right.
And our last question here would be, what would you tell women who'd like to secure a leadership position in cyber?
So I think the thing is, first and foremost, you have to be authentic self. I think, no matter what your goal is in trying to get to cyber, I think you do need to be who you are. I think you need to ask questions. I think you need to find what part of cyber you're interested in, because as you know, there's many versions of cyber and many, responsibilities and roles within cyber. So it's very important to really kind of find what makes you tick and what makes you excited. It's funny because for me in Cyber Defense Center, it's just like fashion. Things change all the time, right? Things change. So that's why cyber works for me, because it's changing constantly. Just when you think you got it figured out, something else changes. So I think any woman that wants to move forward, it's so important to be your authentic self, and it's so important. And the other piece is ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. I have a previous leader, actually my leader in the SOC when I first got there. We had a joke, really, that I was allowed to be 110% Jen, and then sometimes I had to be at 80% Jen, right? Because I would come in full force and ask 5,000 questions, and certain times he literally ping me on the side and say, okay, 90% Jen today, because we have a different audience, right? And and that's part of it too, is knowing the audience. And then always find a mentor and sponsor. There's a big difference, and you guys probably all know about sponsors and mentors, but use those sponsors and mentors, allow them to help you grow, and really just embrace it. And I am passionate about it, so I'm always a sponsor and I'm always a mentor to someone here at Key, that's for sure.
That's fantastic advice to close us out on, because I too believe very strongly in the mentorship program. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jenn. I really appreciate our discussion.
Thank you.